Nigeria's number one for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. And of course, you're listening to Power Solutions, brought to you by Nigeria Info in partnership with energy investment company Allon. Ably represented here by the beautiful Frances Udukwu. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you, Colin?
Doing great. It's been a while. Good to see you again.
Awesome to be here.
We have yet another guest to join us on the show today. And before you bring in the guest, let me let the listener know what the focus of our conversation is themed as. It is smart energy harvesting in Nigeria. I repeat that. Smart energy harvesting in Nigeria. You want to know what all these mean or where we're heading at or going to with this? Stay tuned as we bring our guest right now.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Today we'll have Daniel. Okay, I'm not going to mess this up. Daniel Alumona. He is the CEO of WakaGen. He'll share more insights on that as we progress. But WakaGen provides clean and affordable energy to local and global communities using piezoelectric energy harvesting tiles. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Frances. It's really
Awesome
good
to
be
have
here.
you here.
Yeah.
Should I kick off with the
Yeah,
first
come
question?
on.
All right. So Daniel, let's get the ball rolling. So just give us a bit of information about yourself. I mean, how did you find yourself as the founder of WakaGen?
Hi everyone, and I'm really excited to be here. My name is Daniel, like Frances introduced. I'm a graduate from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, and I think 2 years ago when I graduated, I didn't really think I would be a founder of another startup after I put a pause to the first one. And WakaGen basically started in the university. We entered Hold Prize 2019 challenge in the university. So it was like, let's just go in and then try to win something, make a name for ourselves, my team and I.
And this was in Ibadan.
Yeah, in
Okay.
Ibadan. Yeah, somewhere along the line, we discovered that, we're onto something big. And for the last 2 years, we've chased it down the rabbit hole, and here's where it led me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting to know. But we know that you're also passionate about technological solutions, specifically power and software solutions. What drives that passion?
Well, personally, I believe that technology is the future, and it's been a personal journey for me to imagine technology for the Nigerian community, like for the world in general. When I ran my startup in university, a gaming startup,
Yeah.
I was planning to transition it full time using technology, but I ran into some hitches with that, so I had to put a pause on it. But I worked with a couple of other tech startups, and I learned how to do it the right way. Now, what drives my motivation is solving problems on a larger scale, and with technology, things like that are usually very possible.
Okay.
So I guess to give the audience some feedback. So Daniel, founder of WakaGen, his company won our ideation stage, won as a grantee for our ideation stage program that recently concluded with NCIC, or the Nigerian Climate Innovation Center. So just to give the audience a bit of insight, the name in itself is quite interesting, WakaGen. So I hope I got that right. So give us some insight on what the concept is about and what solution you're offering.
Yeah, I like that I always have to explain the name of the idea. It's short for waka and generate. So like as you walk, you generate, and you generate electricity. So as we progress, I'll talk more about it. But basically, when you take footsteps, then you can produce electricity, which you can reuse as consumable energy for your devices and your applications around your houses. Thank you.
Okay. You talked a bit about the fact that you started in the university, all right? But would like to also know what solution you were about to solve specifically. All right. Tell us more about what you wanted to solve at the time when you started.
Okay. When we started in 2019, as students in the University of Ibadan, I think the one of the biggest problems, the institutional challenges that we face in school is power, and this is like quite national for all Nigerians. But but like that was pretty specific. That was what we're trying to solve, the power issue in school, and we were also trying to create a pipeline where we could empower people by creating jobs. So I think I remember the theme of the Hot Prize in 2019 was to create a solution that would create jobs for people across the world, and but then we targeted the power sector, for these two reasons which I just mentioned. And so it was power, and then to bridge the gap between people and like how they can like make a living out of getting jobs. So by starting the solution, we wanted to create a local product where people can contribute to
job creation.
Job creation here in Nigeria.
Okay, I mean that makes sense. That does, right?
Yeah, so it's quite impactful across board. I mean, from creating power and then giving people an opportunity to take part in building that solution. One of the things that fascinated me when I listened to your pitch during the ideation stage demo day was the concept, back to the concept of WakaGen, which is essentially using like kinetic energy to create power. I know that it's a lot more technical than that, but if you can break it down for some of us who aren't well versed.
Thank you so much. Now, what we're selling essentially are piezoelectric energy harvesting tiles. Now, basically, the tiles, when you install them in high traffic walkways and like when people step on them, they can create electricity which can be stored in batteries and then be used in your households. Now, piezoelectricity, like you mentioned, is the production of power with the application of pressure. Like they are naturally occurring sensors in nature that have been packaged as piezoelectric sensors. So when you apply pressure, they produce electricity. Now, we are just repackaging those as tiles, and obviously there's a bit of technicality that goes into how we arrange it and what other components we use to harvest the energy in a quantifiable amount that people can actually use in their households. So I don't know if that exactly answers your question or if I should elaborate more.
The only thing I would ask or piggyback on is, as a consumer, an average consumer, I mean, are you selling the tiles to me? How does that work?
Okay, so our business model, the first one, the simple one, is just selling the tiles as well as the power, or we could just sell you the power from the tiles. So basically, if we can position the tiles where people walk all the time, take for instance social markets, like there's lots of people walking there, with every footstep they can generate power. So while they just go about doing their normal business, they can just generate power that can offset the amount that they pay for the national grid every year or every day. So if you can either buy the tiles and then locally produce your own power in your office, your workspace, wherever, or you could subscribe to our power services where we sell per kilowatt of energy to you, specifically per day or per week or per month, depending on how much you subscribe. And that way we can take off the whole generation aspect away from your hands and just supply you with power.
Fascinating.
I mean, I get inspired to hear people, break down what exactly they're doing and how they're going about it. But hey, let's get back to, we say the topic is actually smart energy harvesting in Nigeria. Smart energy harvesting. What does that mean?
Yep. So, like I mentioned, energy harvesting is basically what it sounds, harvesting energy. And, like take solar for instance, you harvest energy from the sun. There's hydroelectricity, harvest energy thanks to from water. Now, smart energy harvesting generally is just harvesting of energy from things around us. Now, the smart piece there is when you use technology to aid the harvesting of energy. Now, what WakaGen is doing, we're not using solar, we're not using water. We're basically using something that is in really, there's like like is in high abundance, like your footsteps. You can just harvest energy from your footsteps. An average human takes about 120 million footsteps in their lifetime. Imagine if they could convert all of that into power. I know that you can't harvest all of it, but just the little alone, I mean, think about it. So that smart piece is where we come into it with technology to make this possible.
Wow, I mean, it's very interesting. We also know that you came out first, right? In the first place that's in West Africa for the Schneider Electric Go Green Challenge 2020. You've been winning, though. Wow. Tell us more about that winning, and also couple with the fact that you still got $10,000 grant from Allon, the NCIC All-On Incubation Program for this year. Now, let's start with how you won, I mean, for the Schneider, and then tell us about the Allon experience too.
Thank you so much for that question. I would not just jump into the win. That win, I didn't even think it was possible. The year before that, at Holt Prize, we got to the finals at University of Ibadan, and you know, from the judges' feedback, none of us even thought we were going to continue with the idea. I think they floored us. Like,
wow,
you know, it just didn't look like we were making any headway with our idea. So coming back to win at Schneider was a result of hard work. And my team and I, we basically took all the feedback that we got, and then we put it and then made something meaningful out of it. And you know, we essentially built 2 prototypes before we went for Schneider Electric Go Green Challenge. And by March last year, we got contacted that, you know, we won from West African round, and we're going to represent West Africa in the Middle East and Africa finals and things like that. And that was what we did by June. And back here, when we got contacted by EIP earlier this year that would be in their incubation program, you know, we're just like looking for extra motivation to continue with the idea, really, because you know, when you're working with technology like this, things that like have long timelines, long production timelines, you just need an extra bit of motivation.
That's right.
And I think that's where NCIC came in and became a set piece for that. And the 6 months incubation was very, very helpful. And winning the grant last month was a topping on the cake.
Of
so
course
yeah. Yeah, thank you.
How did you hear about the program? Just to chip that in before Francis come on.
Yeah, like I said, motivation. First off, let me just backtrack to Schneider Electric. When we got to Schneider Electric Middle East and Africa finals, we came second. That's like when we represented West Africa, we came second. And this was because of some hitches. And you will not believe this. I was pitching live at Schneider Electric Go Green Challenge, and my generator went off. Like I was pitching WakaGen to the judges, and my generator went off. So my screen froze. So Esther, my teammate, could not pitch. So I basically, like when my screen got back on, I pitched for her. So it took all the time that we had, and we still came second. Now the judges were like, "Oh no, we understand the data issues with Nigeria, we understand the power issues," and I was like, "Hey." So immediately after that, what we started doing was, you know, I had to make it up to myself. I started applying to other programs. I think NCIC was one of the many that I submitted. Obviously, some didn't get back, but earlier this year, NCIC showed up, and you know, we made that happen. So I think we're still solving a problem which we ourselves are still facing till today. So that's what it is for us.
Well, congratulations again, Daniel. I mean, young Nigerians solving real problems that we face on a daily basis. So, I mean, that's exciting. But one of the things I wanted to add, and you touched on it a bit, on how the NCIC program in partnership with Allon gave you an opportunity to go through some sort of incubation, a 6-month incubation program. And I know it was filled with a lot of information on business development, how to build a team, and some of the more developmental aspects of creating a business. Now, and I know you also won a grant of $10,000, but one of the questions I have is, if funding wasn't an issue, you know, where would WakaGen be today? What would you do in terms of progressing and building out your vision?
First of all, I believe in the talent that we have here in Africa, and why wouldn't I believe I'm a product of African talent anyway? And if funding wasn't an issue, I would already create an ecosystem where we can hire as many people as possible to help us build this project, because like the future which we see for WakaGen is really expansive. Like, it's very huge, and if we could mass produce what we currently have, uh, generators would be a thing of the past. Would wake up one day and then tell our kids, say, there was a time we used to pull this thing called Tiger generator. Like, that's exactly what it would be in a few years time. So if funding wasn't an issue, we would hire as many engineers as possible. We would get to market as soon as possible, and we would solve this problem as it is, and we would be the next frontier for sustainable energy and clean energy here in Nigeria and Africa at large.
You're listening to Power Solutions, brought to you by Nigeria Info in partnership with Allon, and we do have on the not the hot seats, just in the studio, Daniel Alumona, the CEO of WakaGen. He's been talking to us about smart energy harvesting, and he said a lot already. I'm going back to the 10K. So what would that do to you? The $10,000 you got from Allon, what would that do to your business? How do you hope to utilize the bar?
Yeah, I like that question. The bar is small bar, but like, we'll utilize it well. Francis mentioned that if money wasn't an issue, what would we do? But as it is, money is an issue. So the money is going back to the product.
Okay.
Like, we're investing it back into the product, and we want to see that certain things are taken care of. We have some product metrics that we are aiming toward.
Right.
We have a minimum power generation that we want to be able to get from one footstep. Like, we're aiming at 5 watts per footstep. And it's something that is possible. It's something that our prototype has proven possible. So we want to find a way to package this in such a way that it's much more durable, and our customers get more value for the product that we will sell them in the long run. So the Teke is going to go back into research and development, and putting out more products there that will go into the market. Yep.
And I'm certain we'll ensure that we hold you to that, Daniel, you and your team.
Yes.
So I'll go ahead and round up this conversation. It's been a pleasure hearing from you, Daniel, and you sharing your vision with us as it pertains to WakaGen. Now, I would love to know, what are the next steps for your company, and whether you have any parting words for the audience, especially for young entrepreneurs in the space, in the power sector, looking to build their businesses, build their team, and essentially scale.
Next steps for the company started at the moment when we won, and like, we're already in partnership with an engineering firm that would help us accelerate the building of the technology, like the one that should go into the market shortly. And that's the next steps for the company. And like, my little 2 cents for anyone who's building anything out there. I know for average entrepreneurs, it takes a lot of motivation. For Nigerian entrepreneurs, it takes much more than motivation. You will build things. Some of it will not see the light of day. Like, it's just how it is. But like, you just have to just persevere, really. And that's something that everyone does every time, even myself here on the radio, like all entrepreneurs. I just want to, like, we should just be focused on what we're doing, and then let's just focus on impact, especially here in Nigeria. So those are like my 2 cents for anyone who's building anything out there. And just keep it together, and I think that's just it for me.
All right.
Yep. That's all I have for entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So we're persevering too. Is it called hit the bar? What'd you all call it?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought of something now quickly to say that, hey, you are, see, who are you targeting with this your solution, and how do you want to reach them? Go.
Okay. The first people we're targeting are people just like us. We're targeting schools first, like schools and hospitals.
Right.
So we drew out a list of high priority targets, and we felt like the places that will make the most impact are hospitals. They need power 24/7. You don't want to be a doctor and you're working on a patient during surgery, and then light goes off, and then someone's life is hanging on the line because of NEPA.
Mm.
Yeah, so those are the places we're targeting, hospitals and then schools, because we understand the problem that students face. And yeah, so once we're ready to market, we're going to be making touch points on those two target areas and how to scale from there.
All right. Well, that's it. That's how much we can take care. We wanted to just say a thing or two about your team members and how you can be reached if somebody wants to contact you. All right, as we go, we have less than a minute. Can you do that in 30 seconds?
Yeah, we can be reached at WakaGenerator, WAKA generator at gmail.com. Or you could just check it out on LinkedIn. We're WakaGen. Just check us out on LinkedIn and leave a comment on any of our posts, or reach out to the people, or reach out to me on LinkedIn, basically. So that's how we can be reached for now. Yep.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, that's it. Francis, it's been good to do this with you today.
Sure, I'm sure we'll do it again.
Absolutely. So that's it for our Power Solutions today, brought to you by Nigeria Info in partnership with Allon. And we have been talking to WakaGen CEO, and Daniel has spoken a lot about. He is on a mission. He and the team, they're on a mission to harvest electricity, one footstep at a time, powering local and global communities and businesses across the globe. That sounds like magic, but hey, he's doing it. And indeed, he would do it. Well, that's it for the show today. Next week, we'll be here again for another lovely time. Francis?
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to some other episodes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you guys for hosting me. This was really fun.
Great to hear that. Okay, guys, the show programming continues. The news is underway in a matter of minutes. I see that that'll be happening shortly. That's it for that. Next week, we'll be here again for another episode of Power Solutions. Au revoir.
Bye.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.